Hello, I'm Neil Quigley and welcome to my podcast. David Davis has said he wants a special relationship as he starts Brexit talks. Well, if tabloid scandals over the years are to be believed, a politician is the perfect person to make that happen. Not saying she's not confident, but why did Theresa May go into the Brexit negotiations dressed all in white? It's like she was walking in and flying the flag of surrender already. The Queen's speech was mostly about Brexit and how Britain plans to leave the EU, which must have been slightly awkward for the Queen of the Commonwealth. I love the way that for the Queen's speech to open Parliament this week, she was clearly wearing her royal ascot outfit for the day underneath, and that they did away with the carriages, meaning she travelled by car. I imagine her car was running all the way through the speech. When the speech was over, it was like when Elvis used to leave his concerts when the band was still playing as he jumped in the car and went. That is why I love the Queen. She would not let anything get in the way of her horse racing. Fair play, ma'am. A lot has been made of the Queen not mentioning a state visit by Donald Trump in her speech. To be fair, she probably felt it already contained enough potentially bad news without adding that to it. Donald Trump's new plan for the Mexican wall is to put solar panels all along it to harness energy and make money from it. Although, if the Mexicans have builded it, surely they should own the panels and make the cash. I'm quite surprised, as I didn't think he acknowledged any other form of fuel except coal and oil. So maybe he is hedging his bet slightly on global warming actually being a thing. Now, either Donald Trump was bluffing when he hinted about having a tape of him and Comey, or he has now listened to it and decided that he doesn't have one. It's like in the playground where you used to pretend you had that rare Panini sticker badge when you really didn't. You just wanted all the attention. The United States spent $28 million on uniforms for the Afghan National Army in woodland camouflage when only about 2% of the country is woodland. It's almost as if they just wanted to make them easier to see. News this week that a Russian plane flew just 5 feet from an American spy plane. Surely if they were both doing their jobs properly, this situation should have been the other way round. Now we Brits, we do love the hot weather, but we just can't handle it here, can we? Roads melt, things break down, nobody sleeps well, we all go red. I think we'd all secretly be happy if it was just grey and drizzly all year round. The Europeans always look so tanned and sophisticated in the sun, while we just look red and sweaty. The weather this June is set to break a 40-year record for high temperatures during this month, which means I will be 80 next time the weather is this good, if this cycle is accurate. 13,000 people turned up at Stonehenge to watch the sunrise on the summer solstice. Well, either that or they'd all just gone there in the hope of finding somewhere cool to sleep during the heatwave. The UK has given the go-ahead for Google to test drive their driverless cars on our roads, probably based on the theory that they can't be any worse than many of the actual drivers already on our roads. Amanda Holden's very revealing low-cut top has avoided any complaints after, thanks mainly to tape, the BGT judge managed not to show us her talents. Han Solo joint film directors Chris Miller and Phil Lord have quit the project due to creative differences, which also means they're unlikely to release a new album or tour together again. But luckily Ron Howard has stepped in to direct the new Han Solo film, so happy days. Daniel Day-Lewis announced he's going to retire from acting. Or is he just preparing for his next role as an out-of-work actor? He is very method. Just when you thought you couldn't hate him anymore, George Clooney has just made £790 million from a tequila company he and a friend set up after selling it to a big drinks company. Yet, it is Daniel Day-Lewis who is retiring. Freddie Flintoff is to be in the new Fat Friends musical. Well, he is mates with James Corden, so I guess that means he is qualified. Katy Perry has become the first person to reach over 100 million followers on Twitter. Does that technically make her the most influential person in the world? I still find the fact that she was married to Russell Brand harder to understand than that. If I had that many followers, I'd be really tempted just to ask them all to send me just 1 pence. Former Wimbledon champion Boris Becker has been declared bankrupt. Luckily for him, he had more success with courts during his playing days. It's Glastonbury this weekend, where over 100,000 people spend the weekend camping whilst listening to music, like every fan of ABBA, Erasure and Steps there has ever been. I really want to rewrite a new version of Old MacDonald, especially for Michael Eavis. Old Michael Eavis has a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he has all the biggest names from the world of music playing. And Old MacDonald, he has just a cow. Who invented yoga? Was it just someone who had cramp and ended up getting themselves into weird and wonderful positions to cure it, and then just noticed they were actually getting fitter? Interesting that scientists have discovered chimps that are watched change their hunting habits, but not their masturbation ones. That's it for this week. Thanks very much for listening. See you next week. Bye.